Purchasing in our department obviously first starts with a need being identified, period. An individual, usually due to something that happens during the course of an incident or even while checking equipment, identifies a need in the department, and then we'll go about looking into fulfilling that need and how it will service the department. Oftentimes, the individual will go out, receive the bids, and depending on the size of the purchase, if it is a major item, i.e. a fire engine, that type of purchase will take more time to gather information. It will also have a bigger impact on the budget, which could mean that this is a type of purchase that would have to be set out multiple budget cycles for the department to be able to afford it. There's also items that are emergency purchases that are needed, that the gathering of information and the process of purchasing will obviously need to be sped up. For most purchases, once the need is identified, the individual will go out, do the research into the item and what they believe is the correct item that is needed. Once they have identified that item, identified a cost, and can justify the need, they will submit that budget request to the chief financial officer or her representative. If there's any more information needed, then the CFO will bounce that back, and there will be communication between that individual and the CFO or representative. Once that purchase has gone through any other proper channels it needs to go through, again, depending on the size, it could need to go through a certain department. We have a battalion chief that is in charge of equipment purchasing, so that may need to go through them as well and have them pulled into the conversation. If it's a training item, then a training officer would need to be pulled in. And again, depending on the level of purchase, it may require the assistant chief or chief, logistics to be pulled into the conversation. Proper individuals will be pulled in as needed during the purchasing process. If the budget does get approved, then normally it is the responsibility of the individual who brought up the idea and the need to go out and get those bids. Depending on what the bid is, what is needed, they may enlist the help of other individuals who are more experienced in that. For example, if it is a monitor as in used in this scenario, there may be some EMS personnel that has purchased items before, logistics may have purchased these items before, so gathering information from them in terms of suppliers we have used, equipment purchased, any information they can give in order to help secure the bid or make contacts. Once that bid is gathered with multiple suppliers, organized, making sure the comparison is apples to apples, and the item is researched properly, all that will be organized along with a recommendation as to which bid to select. And then when all that information is gathered, it is submitted to the CFO and the committee that would approve that purchase. Again, depending on who is involved in this, there may be one or two people involved, CFO, maybe assistant chief, maybe a real simple purchase, or it may need to have, again, battalion chief in charge of equipment, training, logistics. All depends on what the equipment is, what it's used for, what department or division it'll be put in, and of course the cost and timeline of the purchase, any expertise brought in for other individuals to purchase it. Once the purchase is approved, then normally the individual getting all the bids and stuff stays point of contact and is the one who works through getting the purchase order sent in and the shipping and handling stuff, and stays the coordinator of it. Again, depending on the size of the purchase, what it's for, it may be passed up the line to another individual to handle the communication, or again, if it is just easier to have a direct communication with another individual to speed along the process that is necessary as well, that will be done. After that, once it comes in, proper checks and training will be done on the equipment or the purchase before it is put into service or activated, or whatever it is that is purchased is done. And usually the individual that came up with the need is often still attached to it and will be a point of contact, or the experienced individual that will be referenced if there is any questions, need training, any of the stuff move forward in the future on it.